Welcome to the world of Execular. We are Kasia and Amadeus, the creators of the game,
and this is Gameplay Overview. Execular is a first-person action-adventure game that encourages exploration, rewards curiosity,
and never holds your hand.
You play as Denzel Phoenix, an Execular, a corporate bounty hunter.
Execulars hunt down fugitives and reclaim souls from those who try to escape the system.
One of the game's main hubs is the Tower, a massive fortress city ruled by the Hellion Corporation. This is where you accept contracts, upgrade your gear, and prepare for missions.
Job well done, contract fulfilled.
The game is structured in chapters, and almost everyone begins and ends in the Tower.
Outside the tower lies a harsh, scorched desert. You travel through it in a heavily modified car designed to protect you from extreme conditions such as heat and radiation. Inside the vehicle, you have access to your computer, storage, and a working radio.
From your
Survival is a core part of the experience.
Inventory space is limited, and every item matters, forcing players to make careful decisions about what to carry and what to leave behind.
Hellion's high-tech systems allow you to hack devices, pick locks, and access restricted areas.
Your cybernetic implants help you uncover hidden elements and investigate the environment. Missions and level design are fully non-linear. There's no single way to complete a contract. Stealth, dialogue, and combat are all valid approaches and can be freely combined.
In Execular, every decision matters.
What's it gonna be? Plata or muerte?
Okay, so welcome to the world of Execular, where survival comes at a constant cost. With limited inventory space and high prices on essential supplies, players must remain constantly aware of how they manage and carry their equipment. Radiation zones, lethal sandstorms, and extreme temperatures turn the environment itself into an ever-present threat throughout the wasteland. While firearms are an important part of the experience, Execular encourages experimentation. Players can combine weapons, gadgets, environmental hazards, and special abilities to approach encounters creatively or avoid combat altogether. Through cybernetic implants, Denzel gains enhanced perception, allowing players to uncover hidden elements, piece together narrative clues, and read the environment instead of relying on waypoints. Missions in Execular are non-linear, with no prescribed playstyle or guided solutions. Players are given clear objectives but are free to approach each contract through stealth, dialogue, direct combat, or a combination of all three, and not every job must end with a kill. Player choices shape NPC behavior, dialogue, and the broader narrative, leading to multiple possible outcomes and endings. Execular is an upcoming single-player science fiction RPG that positions itself somewhere between classic Fallout-style role-playing and the dystopian urban design often associated with cyberpunk, but without leaning heavily into spectacle or stylization. The game is set in a future where technological progress has not resulted in prosperity, but instead in a rigid, stratified society defined by control, surveillance, and resource imbalance. Cities are dense, heavily managed environments dominated by corporate and institutional power, while areas outside these urban centers feel neglected, unstable, and only loosely governed. The setting isn't presented as a dramatic post-apocalypse, but rather as a slow systemic decay where society continues to function, just increasingly poorly. From a gameplay perspective, Exekiller appears to focus strongly on traditional RPG design principles, particularly player choice and systemic consequence. The developers have emphasized decision-making that affects narrative direction, character relationships, and access to different gameplay paths rather than choices that exist purely for flavor. Dialogue, exploration, and mission outcomes seem designed to interconnect, meaning the player's actions influence not only immediate situations, but also how the world responds over time. This design philosophy aligns more closely with older Western RPGs than with many modern titles that streamline player agency in favor of cinematic pacing. The influence of Cyberpunk is visible primarily in the technology and setting rather than the tone. Augmentations, advanced weapons, and high-tech infrastructure exist, but they are portrayed as functional tools rather than aspirational upgrades. Technology in Exekiller appears to be treated as a necessity for survival within the system, not as a power fantasy. This approach gives the world a colder, more utilitarian feel and reinforces the idea that progress has come at the expense of personal autonomy rather than enhancing it. Combat based on the material shown so far seems designed to be deliberate and relatively grounded. Encounters appear dangerous with an emphasis on positioning, preparation, and resource management rather than constant action. Weapons and enemies are not presented as exaggerated or arcade-like, suggesting that combat is meant to support the game's overall tension rather than dominate the experience. This supports the impression that Exekiller prioritizes immersion and consequence over fast-paced spectacle. What makes Exekiller particularly notable is its overall direction at a time when many large-scale releases are structured around live service elements, long-term monetization, or heavily curated player experiences. Exekiller is positioned as a self-contained single-player RPG with a clear focus on narrative depth, player agency, and world building. While that doesn't guarantee execution or quality, it does place the project in a smaller category of modern RPGs that are attempting to preserve design values that have become less common in the mainstream space. At its core, Exekiller presents itself as a methodical, systems-driven RPG built around a believable dystopian setting rather than a high-concept spectacle. If the final release delivers on its emphasis on choice, consequence, and grounded world design, it has the potential to appeal strongly to players looking for a more traditional role-playing experience in a modern sci-fi context.